I'm sharing that with you not to impress you. Um, I just want you guys to know that I'm just like you. Nobody special. No superhero or anything like that. It's just I learned some skills and some strategies, some things and positioning, some things to, make some money, create some wealth, create some lifestyle balance, and these skills are learnable. And so that's why this weekend is all about how do I pass as much as I can to you guys. Would that be cool? Yes. Yeah? So that you guys can do that with your life too. Yeah? So what I want you to understand is this weekend is based around 3 things. How many things? 3. The first thing is the mindset. Is the what? Mindset. There's this saying that says success is 80% mindset, 20% this second thing here. 20% mechanics. Meaning, very simple, it's not just a lot of people, the big problem is a lot of people is looking for the mechanics. They're looking for the strategies. How do I do this, Eric? How do I do that, Eric? How do I do this, Eric? Do you know how many people I've told how to do all these different things? And out of the thousands of people that I've told all these strategies to, do you think most of them got the goal? No. Most of them didn't get the goal. But do you think it was the problem of the strategy? No, because the minority, the very, very tiny, tiny, tiny minority got the goal. What does that clarify? Does that clarify my strategy doesn't work? Of course not, because I use my strategy. I teach other people to use the strategy. One person makes it work, it means the strategy works. But the biggest thing that stops people is the mindset. Because at the end of the day, I want you to understand one thing. Those of you speakers, coaches in the room, raise your hand again. Okay, right. How many of you in this room, whether you're speakers or coaches, or whether you want to get into this whole thing about positioning, branding, right? How many of you want to know a very simple strategy how to get all the big gigs out there? Okay, are you ready for this? Yes. You're not ready for this. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, what you do is you find all events out there. Every single event, every networking event you find out there. And what you do is you ask to speak. You want to know how Eric Ho got 72? First show, business show. Wow, they invited me. I thought, oh, I'm a superstar now. Was I so wrong? I go to other events and I was like, oh, I'm Eric Ho. Say, sorry, who? Oh, maybe I share something about business. Sorry, what do you do? I'm like, oh, well, I've got these businesses. Oh, no, sorry, we're full for this year. You're nobody. I was nobody. People say, oh, Eric, it's easy for you. How is it easy for me? Do you know how many millionaires, how many billionaires there are out there? You think they can all just rock up everywhere and speak wherever they like? No. You need to know how to do this. So what happened? I went to every networking event. I used to go to all networking events in London, being the shy boy. And what did I have to do? I have to go out there and I have to say, please, can I speak at your event? They said, oh, sorry, we're very full. Oh, can I just have 5 minutes? Oh, sorry, that's how I got there. 72 events. Everyone was all this. Out of that, I probably asked about, a few hundred people if I could speak. If I could get 3 minutes out of a session, I would get the 3 minutes out of the session. What happened out of the 72 events? I got loads and loads of exposure, loads of people seeing who I was. Then I built the name. You want a strategy? There's your strategy. Go out and ask. But let me tell you something. I know for certain the majority of you who said, yes, I want that, most of you, you don't have the mindset to be able to put yourself through all the rejection to do that. You want to know positioning? Can I share with you one very quick way to position yourself? Yeah. And by the way, let me tell you something. Every single one of you in this room, if you had personal positioning, it would help you dramatically in everything you do. Because understand one thing, repeat after me, people. Don't buy products. Don't buy services. People buy from people. Always understand that. When I figured that out, I was like, okay, I'm building my brand. I start to understand this. When I build my brand now, everything changes. I sell a water bottle now and everybody buys a water bottle from me. Right? I can sell hairspray and people will buy hairspray. Why is that? It's because people buy from people. Understand, how many of you in this room, you have a product or service already? Right? Let's put it this way. How many of you think that if I took your product and service to my next gig and I put it out there and sold it for you, how many of you think that I will sell more than you? I don't even know what your product is. I don't have the knowledge you have. I'm probably not as intelligent as you. Why is it that I can do that? It's because of positioning. People buy from people. You have huge leverage if you know how to position yourself. Let me give you one thing that you can do to actually position yourself. It's called what? Whatever that was, yes, I agree. Branding by association. Right? What did I do? Exactly what I just showed you before. This is what I was doing. This was a very, very big moment in my life. I learned about branding by association. I knew I went to that gig for the photo. I really didn't want to do the gig because I was really scared of speaking. I just wanted a photo. But I thought, okay, if I can get through this, then I can get a photo of him. That'll be pretty good for my branding, my positioning. And so what did I do? Eric Ho, international speaker, finishes off shaking from stage, comes off stage. I know James Caan's coming next. So what do? I get my phone ready. And I'm just like, I've got this. The whole room is packed out to the back walls, all full, around 400 people. And I'm here. And then these guys are looking at me thinking, why is Eric Ho standing here now? Right? And I'm just like, I know what I want. I don't care what you think. I know what I want. James Caan walks through the door with his security. I run. When I run, I didn't realize there was security behind me. Boom, drag, back. And then he says, sorry, sir, please take a seat. I'm just like, okay. So I'm like, okay, one more opportunity later, I'm going to go for this. What happened was the person comes through to me and it says, Eric, sorry, you need to take a seat. This is like, you can't be here. I'm like, okay, sorry. Said Eric, like a real seat. I'm like, okay, sorry. Then these guys are thinking, what's going on? I don't care what other people are thinking. Isn't it so true that a lot of the time we stop ourselves from doing because we've got too much pride, too much ego? What if they think I'm this thing? I know what I want right now. I know what I need right now to get to whatever goal I want right now. Right at the end, I had everything ready. I had my script ready. Do you want the script to get him to smile? Smile. These are called direct commands. When I teach sales tomorrow, you start understanding. I run up right at the end. I say, James, smile. That's probably the split millisecond he smiled before he was like, what on earth is going on? Doesn't that look like we're best buddies? Now what happens? I take this, I post it on social media. A lot of event promoters start reaching out to me, said, Eric, looks like you're doing some great stuff out there. Just from a selfie. And then they said, Eric, we've got a show. Someone from out in Asia reached out to me. We got a show. Can you come? 300 people. I said, wow, yes. Show you another branding by association, right? This one was a significant moment as well. How I met the guy, it's too small, I think. The top right there, that's Jarek Robbins. We're very good friends now. So a lot of the time he comes to UK, he stays at mine. I was in LA, we were at his. Son of $400 million, Tony Robbins, right? One of the biggest motivational speakers out there. It's got some name there. So when I seen that, he was running a retreat, right? $10,000 to spend a few days out there. $10,000 to spend a few days out there in Thailand with him. Right? People thought, Eric, but are you gonna what are you gonna learn? You know, it's like, is he really that good? I said, I don't know. I just want a photo. You're paying $10,000 for a photo. I said, I don't look at it like that. I look at what comes from the photo. Because if I took a photo with James Caan and then I started getting all these different gigs, I said, taking a photo with Tony Robbins' son, I'm sure something will happen too. This is all branding by association. I said, 10,000 is not for the holiday. 10,000 is my business investment right now. It's my branding. That is more, if I put 10,000, I put it on a magazine, people, this is funny, because people see it differently. You would put like 5, 10,000 on, let's say, a magazine print or something that reaches out to 20,000 people. But you wouldn't think that, hey, put £10,000 on this thing. Now, what was fascinating was I put £10,000, went out on a retreat, got photos, videos all week, posted it all over social media. Then what happened? It was these guys that reached out to me. It was these guys that reached out to me from Vietnam and said, Eric, I see you doing some great stuff. I want you to headline with Richard Branson our show for 5,000 people. Eric Ho, nobody, Noodle Boy. Headline, this was in KLCC, that's in Malaysia, Twin Towers, mine and Richard Branson's face. And I was like, this is really weird. Branding by association. Does this make sense? Can you see this? Right? Everybody do this? Repeat after me. My mind is open. Keep your mind open. Stay receptive. There's a lot of things you can pick up because let me tell you something. Even just that little piece of advice I just gave there, if the message, you allow that message to land for you, maybe that's the thing that changes your whole destiny. Right? That one thing. Maybe that, because when I learned it, it changed my whole destiny. I probably wouldn't be standing here right now if it wasn't for that. Right? And so we do branding by association. So the first part of it, like I said, is mindset. The second part of it is mechanics. Tomorrow is hardcore mechanics day. It's all strategies. But to get ourselves there, today, I need to kind of peel away all of the negative, disempowering beliefs and things that you have. And some of you, I know, will be sitting there thinking, I don't have any disempowering beliefs. I don't have any negative beliefs, right? Why? It's because that's probably happening in your subconscious. In your conscious mind, you think you're going to be successful. In your subconscious mind, you don't know what's going on in there. Our brains processes 11 million pieces of information every second. Every second. It's feeling, it's watching, it's seeing everything. Out of the 11 million pieces of information, only 40 of them are conscious. We actually know about if we think about it. Right? For example, to give you an example, how many of you had this driving experience before? When you drive, you don't see the things around you and you get to your destination, right? And you're like, what on earth happened there? All of that was happening subconsciously. So what does this mean? It means that most of the results that you see right now in your life is created subconsciously. Only 10% of it is conscious. So when you consciously say, I'm going to succeed, I want to build a business, I want to be successful, I'm going to go in and close this deal right now, consciously, that's going to contribute to 10% of it. 90% of the things you're doing is going to either sabotage or win that deal for you. Does this make sense? Yes. So the thing is this, I want to give you this example because there was somebody who asked me for investment for their business one time. They said, Eric, I want you to invest in my business. Straight after a show. And I was like, okay. I said, what's the business? It's $1 million idea. I said, $1 million idea? I said, okay, you don't need me then. Bye. He said, oh, no, but I need your investment. I said, why do you want my investment? If you take my investment, you do understand that I'm going to take a cut of your share, right? I'm going to take like a percentage of your company. He says, yes. And he says, why do you want to split the $1 million with me? I said, it's $1 million idea. You go make $1 million, keep it for yourself. He says, well, no, but I really need investment right now. I said, okay, how much investment do you need? He said, 50K. He said, all I need is 50K investment. And I asked him one simple question. This gave me a biggest realization because I asked him a question. I said, okay. I said, let me ask you a question. Do you have a house? He said, yes. I said, do you own it? Yes. Do you have any equity in it? He said, yes, 80K. I said, okay, sell your house, do the business. And he said, no, I'm looking for investors. I don't get you. I asked him a question. I said, like, how sure are you that you're going to make the $1 million? He said, it's definitely going to work. Like, it is $1 million. I said, you're definitely sure, but you're not going to take 50K of your 80K to put into the thing, and you say you're 100 or more than 100% sure? I say, I challenge what you're thinking. Consciously, you think you believe in yourself. My question is, subconsciously, are you daring enough Do you really believe in yourself so much you're willing to put the risk in? Because if you can't put skin in the game, and this goes to every single one of you in this room, you can't put skin in the game, you need to start questioning whether you actually believe that your thing's going to work. Right? Are you prepared to sell your house, sell your stuff, sell everything you have to go in? If you're not, then you probably don't believe in it in the first place. Right? So conscious and subconscious is very, very different. That's why today, and I've got quite a hard task this weekend. Do you want to know why? Yes. Lean forward for me. Lean forward for me. Lean forward. Come in. Ask me, Eric, what is it? What is it? Okay, very simple. The hard task is this. Our subconscious, our beliefs, our fears, our doubts comes from our whole upbringing of conditioning. We do not actually have, I want you to understand this, okay? By day 3, it will really open your mind. We do not actually have any our own thoughts. I don't know if you know that. You don't actually have you call it your opinion, your thought, your logical processing. Actually, you don't have logical processing. Your logical processing is somebody else's logic. You're not born into this world with logic. And the logic that you have, the biggest problem with it is that the logic that you have is not so logical. Do you know why? Because if you look at the world out there today, right? If we split it into 3, most people are here. These are people, by the way. Some people are here, success. Some people are here in struggle. Most people are here in purgatory. Right? And so we only have a minority that's successful. And so what does this mean? It means we're surrounded by this every single day. People who just get by. People who pay the bills. It's okay. How's life? Yeah, it's okay. That's what we're surrounded by. So this is the social conditioning that we get fed into our logical minds, which we think it's our logical mind, which holds all the fears and doubts of everybody out there. Right? This happened recently with the whole Bitcoin craze. Everyone's like, oh, invest in Bitcoin. It was going, from 40, 50, 100, 200, 300, 1,000. Invest in Bitcoin. No. Everyone's saying, no. It's gonna fall. 3,000, 4,000. Oh, no, it's going up. What everybody is conditioning and saying, no, now's not the right time. No, none of those people made money. It's all the people who took the risk that made the money. That's the minority. And then what happens? So if this is the social conditioning, what's my challenge? Very simple. You've had 20, 30, 40, I don't know how old you are in this room, 40, 50, 60 years of conditioning. I have 3 days to change your conditioning. Do you see the hard task? But I want to share with you something that's very special that we're going to do here within Superpower Live. Is if we look at how many of you have ever been to some motivational talk before? You've heard some motivational talk, right? How many of you actually, you felt quite pumped after it? You were like, yeah, I'm going to, right? How many of you, let's be honest here, how many of you actually, you felt quite pumped and actually nothing really dramatic actually changed? Just be honest, right? Okay, there we go. What does that mean? That is called a change in state. For example, I can very easily change your state. How? Put some loud music on, everyone jump up and down for a few days, and then it's like, whoa, feel really on a high, yeah, gonna crush it. But you don't know what to do. You're not gonna really crush it. It's a change of state. You feel that your life has changed, but nothing would have changed. In Superpower Live, we go through what we call transformation. And the transformation is through, while I speak, as long as, everybody do this again, repeat after me, my mind is open. Keep the mind open. As long as you keep the mind open and stay receptive through all of the words. I've run this program enough to know this works. It's through a lot of the words I will be plucking out the roots. Right? This is not change in state. This is not change. This is a change in state is an ice cube turning into water, change back to ice. We're not changing state. It'll only hype you up for a few days. We're going through transformation, but to go through transformation, you need to keep your mind open so that I can share with you different things to actually unplug and pull out those roots. Right? This is the majority of today. All of my speaking, majority of today is to unplug all those roots. Tomorrow we'll be installing the new things. The new empowering beliefs, the new strategies. Would that be cool? Yes. Yeah? So the thing is this, all you need to do, and by the way, I don't know if any of you have heard of a guy called Sadhguru, anybody? So I was with him at an event a few weeks ago out in LA. And Sadhguru is very interesting because he sits on his throne and he just sits on his throne. He doesn't move. The only thing that moves is pretty much his lips for a few days. And it's almost like you're getting hypnotized because you're kind of like, I feel a bit sleepy. I don't know what's going on right now. And by the way, at that state, sometimes you enter what we call theta brainwave. A theta brainwave state is a subconscious. It allows stuff to go into your subconscious very easily. And actually, you're learning without even knowing you're learning because it's going in there. Things are changing. And there was huge transformations happening in that event. And I thought, that's very, very powerful because that's all to do with energy then. Today is about building those foundations. Tomorrow is about giving you all the new tools, right, to succeed and get results in whatever you want in life. The final part, the final day, is my favorite of them all. It's what I call mastery. What do I call it? Mastery. And the final day is very special. It's very different. It's very different to what we have here. And when it comes to mastery, what I mean is how you can actually create these results that we're talking about on pretty much autopilot, on flow. Now, I don't know if this is going to go a bit too deep for you guys on day one, but let me ask you a question. Is there anybody in this room actually into like things like energy and flow and things like that? You crazy people, okay. Day 3 is about something where we talk about entering into flow state, the subconscious, and almost, if I dare say the word on day 1, to do with manifestation and positive attraction, let's say. Let's keep it simple for now. I don't want to scare anyone off, yes? And before anybody kind of thinks it's some religious thing, this is no religion thing, okay? This is just things that work. It's a very simple principle. I smile at you, you smile back. If we look at that as, you know, positive and positive, that's all it is. But when you understand it on a deeper level, it changes everything. One thing you need to understand, and just like what Sadhguru said when I was at his event, is you don't need to think too much. Because your thinking is going to destroy you. In fact, just don't think. Yeah? Don't think. Just be all here. In this moment, every moment. Be all here. Everyone take a deep breath in. And out. Through the 3 days, be all here. Everything that's supposed to land all the messages, you will get. It will go there. Okay? Landmark have this model. Anybody familiar with this model? You guys are funny. This is called the circle. Landmark has this model, and it explains very well about us as human beings in this world. And what it says is that if this is what we know in this world, what we are aware of, how things work, right? This is what we know. Yeah. This is what we know that we don't know. So what we know in this world is probably this tiny amount. Yeah, this tiny amount, what we know. How things work, how things are, how reality actually happens, how we hit our goals, this type of stuff, we know this much. What we know that we don't know is quite a lot more. We know that we don't know things like, I know that I don't know how to do brain surgery, for example. You know that you don't know, right? But what's interesting is this part here, and this is the part we want to access this weekend, is what we don't know that we don't know. Totally unaware of it. Never knew it existed. Never even knew that thing existed. If you talk to me around, I don't know, 8, 9 years ago or something, I remember when my good friend Alan here, everybody say hi, Alan. I remember my good friend here, Alan, he gave me a Law of Attraction book. I can't remember how long ago that was now, maybe 7 years or something ago. I looked at it and I thought, this is a load of rubbish. What's it going on about? I put it down. I said, that's crazy. What, sit there, think, and things will happen? Don't be silly. Right? This is one of my biggest topics right now that I teach around the world. You don't know what you don't know, right? I give you a good example of something that's very powerful. I'll share with you I'm going to share on day 3. Most of you in this room, you're breathing through one nostril right now. How many of you, just be honest here, didn't know that? And you're probably still thinking, no, I'm not. Very simple. You want to know that you're breathing through one nostril? You close one, breathe in, breathe out. You close the other, breathe in, breathe out. One will be more blocked, one will be more clear. It's 86% of you, 86% of you in this room, roughly, will be breathing through one side at one time. The remainder will possibly be breathing through 2. A lot of people don't understand what this means and how this affects your life. It affects your state, it affects your life, it affects your productivity, it affects everything. How many of you actually can see the difference, by the way, between the two? Yeah, there you go, okay? You don't know that you don't know, okay? But what if there was a way to switch, and by switching, it changes your creativity and your productivity? Do you think that would be pretty cool? Yes. Right, to get results? Would you like to know how? Yes. Day 3. So there's a lot of things. We don't know that we don't know. When we know and we start becoming more conscious and aware of everything, everything changes. Life becomes easier and easier. Today, people say, Eric, you seem to do all of these different things, all these different projects. Now you're doing YouTube every single day. You got the Facebook to manage. You got all this stuff and the businesses to manage and the events you're speaking at. How do you do it all? I say, actually, now, to be honest with you, I feel like every day I'm not doing much at all. And people are like, huh, I don't get it. Everything I access in flow. You're like, don't get it? Day 3. Keep the mind open. We'll get there. But let's start logical, because there's some of you scientists in this room already dreading day 3, yes? Like, what on earth is he talking about? Just give me the Facebook strategy. We'll give you the Facebook strategy. Don't worry about that, yeah. So this is how the 3 days are going to pan out, okay? And so